there are quite a few people who think हमारे judges छुट्टी बहुत लेते हैं. The judges, the courts are shut for way too long, given especially the pendency. How do you respond to this general sense in society that judges are off for too long? And how do you think we can reduce pendency?
Okay. So I'm really thankful to you for asking me this question.
I thought you'd be angry with me for asking.
No, this really, it's a very serious issue, and I must answer this as candidly as possible. People see us sitting in court from 10:30 to 4. We handle between 40 and 60 cases every day in the Supreme Court. The work which we do between 10:30 and 4 every day in the Supreme Court is a fraction of the work which we do. In order to be ready to deal with the other cases which are going to come up the next day, you spend an equal amount of time in the evenings reading for the next day. Our judgments are in reserve. So on Saturdays, typically every judge of the Supreme Court will sit down and dictate judgments. On Sunday, all of us sit down and read for Monday. So without exception, and I'm not speaking for myself, without exception, every judge of the Supreme Court works for 7 days in a week. When it comes to the holidays, look at what the other Supreme Courts of the world are doing. The American Supreme Court, I have the statistics here before me. The American Supreme Court would sit for, can I just take a second to give you
certainly.
Just give me a moment, just a moment.
See, I see you were expecting that curveball.
Yes. The American Supreme Court sits about 8 to 9 days in a month, annually 80 days, and don't sit for 3 months in a year. The Australian High Court sits about 2 weeks in a month, annually less than 100 days, no sittings for 2 months. Singapore sits for 145 days in a year. The UK almost the same as us. The Supreme Court of India sits for about 200 days every year. What people don't know is this, that most of the time in the vacation is spent on preparing judgments which you have kept in reserve, because you have just no time during the week when you are working 7 days just trying to keep ahead of the curve to deal with your cases. So vacation time is really time spent. The last vacation, the winter vacation, I was sitting with my 5 judicial clerks, keeping up abreast on all the judgments which I had to deliver. Yes, at the end of it, in the summer vacation, you will get a week off with your family to travel. But another thing which we must bear in mind is judging is not about just disposing cases. It's not just about the statistic. It's about thinking through your cases. It's about reading the law, reading about where the law is going in other jurisdictions, thinking about where you want our society to be in terms of the output which you are going to produce. So unless you give your judges time to introspect, reflect, think about the work which you are going to do, you're not going to have quality of justice.
You know, you were saying that you're working even when you're on holiday. Your wife is sitting in the audience, and I could see she was nodding her head when you were saying that you're working even while on holiday.